Well, hello everybody. Thanks for stopping by. This is kind of new. Gone live on Instagram a few times before, but never on YouTube, so thought we'd give that a try. Um, there's a lot to set up here, but I know it doesn't look like much, just looks like me at the piano, but it's pretty intense, all the equipment and learning the streaming software too, so. But hopefully this should be the beginning of something uh, semi-regular. I'd like to do more live playing. And also in addition to that, beyond just playing pieces, actually getting into some practice, like what it looks like to actually practice this stuff and maybe work through some score. In other words, have the music on screen too and figure some things out. For those that are taking lessons or interested in getting down into the nitty-gritty of how a practice session works, we'll do some of that later too. But at the beginning, we'll definitely just play some music. And make sure that you leave a comment in the chat too, because I won't know if you're here unless you make a comment. So please say hi and ask any questions too, and I'd be happy to answer them. So we're going to start off by listening to some Brahms, and I'll play a couple of selections from his Opus 117. These pieces are called Intermezzi, and there's, in my opinion, some of the most beautiful piano music ever written. Late 19th century, when he wrote these. He wrote these near the end of his life, and so they harken back to a time in the earlier part of the Romantic period in music. But I think you'll enjoy them very much. So listen to two intermezzi from Brahms. First is in B flat minor. Oh, wow. Thanks for the comments. Hey, M. Hello. Roberts Photography. Hi, Jill. Hey, Rachel. Hello, Avalon. Yeah, so no sheet music. Yeah, that was from memory. It's honestly not as hard as it looks to memorize that many notes. I mean, it's probably thousands of notes, but um, for a pianist, it's not as hard as it looks. I will be using some sheet music later when we do some score analysis together. But that piece I've been working on for a few weeks, so it's kind of fresh in my head. So. Yeah. Yep, the music is all up here. Yeah, that is a pretty dramatic piece, for sure. And very romantic. What's my favorite piece to play? It basically depends on what I'm playing at the time. So I fall in love with a piece of music and I'm like, I want to learn that. So I'll practice it I'll learn it, take me 2 or 3 weeks to learn. And at that point in time, that is my favorite piece. And then I learn another piece and then that becomes my favorite piece. So that's kind of how that works. I definitely have a squirrel mentality when it comes to piano music. I get easily distracted. Yeah, it's true. It is. Yeah, it's certainly gray here and raining. So maybe we'll play another piece that's good for a rainy day. So that piece was, I think, number 2 in the set of 3 in Opus 117 by Brahms. So now we'll listen to number 1, which is in E flat major, and it's got a very lullaby feel. So Brahms, he was definitely like. Right, so he wrote that famous lullaby, but there are several other examples of his music that sound like a lullaby too, and this is the piece I'm going to play now is definitely one of those pieces. So I don't blame you if you fall asleep, but yeah, definitely another good piece for a rainy day. And some of the sections in this piece are they're so beautiful. It's just hard to put into words, which is why it's good we had music to do so. So this one that I'm about to play, Opus 117, number 1. See, I probably actually do need music for this. Probably should have practiced this one. All right, let's try this again. This is free therapy. Yeah, pretty much. I don't think, like, even personally, I realized, like, even though I've been playing for many years, I don't think I actually realized how um, therapeutic it actually was. It's kind of a cliche, you know, people, they say, well, I'll learn to play piano so that I can play for myself and let alone other people. But I think in my case, I didn't really understand the truth of that until we moved to a place where I didn't have a piano for a while, and then when I did have one, it was sort of like an old upright that it was okay, but I really didn't play a lot for like a decade, and then we moved to an area where I could actually bring the grand into, and I just realized how much I missed it and how regulating it is for me. So it's nice to listen to, of course, as someone else, but it's also really important to the person who's playing it too. So. I probably do need sheet music, and then looks at it maybe once. Yeah. So it's been a while since I've played in front of people. So even though I think I have notes in my head, what happens a lot is that as soon as people watch you, right, I don't think I'm nervous, but the brain doesn't work exactly the way it does when you're alone, right? So I think I got distracted. So. What am I thinking about the most when I'm playing? Well, some pieces I think have stories, and while they're not explicitly stated in the music, I think I make up stories for them. So I'll often think about the narrative that I've constructed. But most of the time, I'm just trying to make the notes sound as beautiful as I possibly can. Because it's important for me to elicit some kind of response in you. And the more beautiful I can make something, then hopefully the better I can make you feel. So what's really going on in my head most of the time is just trying to create not just a beautiful sound, but like a beautiful musical sentence or musical thought that elicits some kind of beauty or appreciation in the listener. The skill it takes to make notes feel that much gets me every time. Yeah, I think that's something that separates amateurs from the pros. Is that you can listen to an amateur like me, and it sounds like there's a lot of soft bits, loud bits. I'm trying to be sensitive with the playing, but then you actually listen to a pro, and that gets taken to a totally other level. Like the sensitivity and the dynamic contrast, it's unbelievable just how carefully every note is played. I'd say that's really one of the biggest differences between amateurs and pros. Well, I'm glad the sun came out, Em, where you are. It is not out here yet. What is a piece that moves you the most in this season of life, and can you play it for us? So those two, I thought I'd lead with because those are what I'm feeling the most right now in this season of life. So, mind you, when Brahms wrote those, he was like an old man, and while I'm getting old, I'm not as old as Brahms was. It's kind of a cool story because Brahms wrote a lot of his stuff during the golden age of piano, so 1830s, 40s, 50s, but then he wrote these pieces like in the 1870s and 80s when he was near the end of his life, kind of looking back, reflecting on his earlier life. And I think that's why they're so reflective. And yeah, I guess I'm in a reflective state of mind too. Are there any pieces you don't enjoy playing? Not since I stopped taking piano lessons. So that's one of the beautiful things about sort of graduating and not like taking lessons anymore, is that no one else tells you what to do. I'm looking at you, all my students, and I know what you're thinking. So, but yeah, I choose, like I hear something and I'm like, yeah, I want to play that. So I only play things that I want to play at this point. That being said, there are some pieces that I really want to play and I learn, but they are a pain in the butt to play. Like some of the sections are extremely technically difficult, and yeah. But the how do you say it? The juice is worth the squeeze. See? You are the sunshine, ha ha ha. Yeah. All right, let's listen to something else. Do you want to hear another one more of these intermezzos, or do you want to do something a little more lighthearted? Do you play jazz or only the fancy stuff? Okay. We'll do a little bit of jazzy stuff. So that was some Ivor Novello. Yeah, he was like a sort of a pop music composer from the late 1920s, early 1930s. So there are songs that actually have words, but you don't want to hear me sing. So Bren says he loves when you tell the story. Really adds to the music. Yeah, I should probably have a story for every song I play, but I don't. But I'll try. He knows the bumblebee. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since I played Bumblebee. So maybe next week. Yeah, sorry, Beth. Yeah, no, it's not in my hands right now. So, however, if you're interested in Bumblebee, there is a version of it played by Yuja Wang, and this is from many years ago, but you can find it on YouTube. And she plays a version of it that was written by very famous Hungarian pianist, 20th century pianist, George Chifra, his name was. And it is stupidly difficult, but really amazing to watch. So if you want to watch an amazing version of Bumblebee, look for Yuja Wang's version on YouTube. Summer walk in the park. Yeah, it definitely has that feel, eh? This is so relaxing. We should do this often. Yeah. Yeah, so I do want to get into this more because lately I did an upgrade to the internet. So we're out here in the country, and the only option up until recently was really terrible for internet. And so streaming was just not really a possibility. I mean, even the live stuff that I did during the pandemic, like the quality wasn't great. But I think I've got the capacity to do it now. But I mean, even still, there's a lot that I have to do to learn how to use like these streaming tools properly to give you the greatest experience as far as the audio is concerned. Like I'm just using a Yeti mic right now, but there are better mics, and I think if I set up my mics a little bit differently, I can probably improve the sound of the piano. The video quality is crystal clear. Well, I'm glad actually that it's coming across clear. And you know what? I think there are some stats too that I can look at just to see. View stats. Okay, live, fine. Okay. FPS 30. 0 dropped frames. That makes me very happy. Do you find when you A-side by Sam, do you find when you play a piece, especially moving to your body moves or sways to it more? I know some pianists move a lot while others don't. Yeah, I used to laugh at pianists who moved a lot because my last piano teacher, he was the head of the faculty at the Royal Conservatory of Music, and he was all about economy of movement. And he basically taught me that in order to achieve the sound you want out of the music, you actually don't have to move very much. There's some things that you have to do, especially on a grand piano, to get a nice round sound out of the keys. You'll often sort of approach a note like this, okay, where you're using the weight of your arm and, really trying to bring out a round sound. So these kinds of movements are important for generating sound in music. But when it comes to like the lang lang, like all this stuff, it's not me, right? So, but I mean, even me, when I feel strongly about a piece, yeah, I'll definitely move more for sure. Yeah. All right, let's do one more Ivor Novello just to follow up this walk in the park feeling again. So this one's called "I Can Give You the Starlight," and again, there are words for this, but I'm not going to sing it. He sings this beautifully. No, I do not, Beth. But thank you very much for your vote of confidence. So which piece do you play the most dramatically then for fun? That's, yeah. I should probably maintain a larger repertoire, but I'd say it's basically I'm working on what I'm working on at the time, and I often forget what I learned before. So then I have to relearn it again. So, yeah, don't have anything particularly dramatic or fun in the repertoire right now, but soon. You gave us the moon with the lullabies and the actual sun and now the stars. Well, thank you, Em. Have I ever played the organ? No. And I have no idea how organs work. Like, I mean, aside from the keys. Do you play the organ? Anyone here play the organ? Can you show us the impact of the pedal, how it impacts a piece? Yeah, sure. Great question. No singing. So the pedal, okay. Without getting too technical, so there are a lot of pianos, they have 3 pedals on the bottom. Okay, the one on the right is the one that's used the most. It's called the damper pedal. Now what happens is, normally, like if I play a note, so I play the note, what happens inside the piano is that when I press the note down, something called a damper gets lifted up off the strings, okay? And then the hammer comes from underneath, strikes the string, and that's where you get the sound. So as long as I'm holding on to this note, I'm keeping the damper up, allowing the string to vibrate. The damper is up and the strings vibrate. Okay, but as soon as I let go of the note, the damper comes down, stops the vibration of the string, and therefore the sound, okay? Now the reason I'm telling you that is because the damper pedal, the one on the right, it forces all of the dampers on the piano up, allowing all the strings to vibrate. And so even if I take my finger off the note, it's still going to keep vibrating. So for example, if I put the pedal down and now I play this note again and let go, you're still hearing the sound even though I've lifted my finger off. That's because the pedal is keeping all of the dampers up, not allowing them to come back down and dampen or stop the vibration of the string. So an example of what that would sound like, let me play, well, I'll play just a little bit of the Brahms I played before without pedal. Okay, and now I'll play it with pedal. So it's a much more sustained sound, a much fuller sound, because the strings are allowed to resonate and just vibrate even against each other much more when you have the pedal down. So that's kind of the difference. Oh, hello, Aaliyah. Welcome in. I used to do that, the chop and broccoli. How did that go? Oh, I can't remember. Next week, Bren, I'll polish up my chop and broccoli. Yeah, organs can be so dramatic, eh? I guess that's why they're the church instrument, eh? Are you able to tune your own piano? Yes, I do tune. Um, and yeah, I've tuned some pianos in the area. I don't do a lot of that though. So like I can tune a piano, but when it comes to like repairing like broken keys or stuff like that, I don't do a lot of that. Just tuning. Will win an impact. Yeah, it's huge. So I did a little mini concert at a care home in Stayner uh, last week, I guess. Yeah, and I didn't really check out the piano before I went, and so when I got there, I just played a few notes, and it wasn't in tune, but I'm like, I can manage. But then when I actually sat down to start playing, I noticed that the pedal had become disengaged from the action of the keys, so the pedal didn't work, and unfortunately, the sound was pretty brutal. But it seems like the residents still appreciated it anyway, so we went ahead. Do you still teach? I do. I haven't done a lot of teaching over the last, well, since the pandemic, but I'm going to get back into it, especially now with a really good internet connection. I think the Zoom piano lessons will be even better. And I'm gonna do the Zoom piano lessons through the streaming software. So right now, like how I'm streaming to you right now, like it's more than just having my phone, shooting camera. Like I'm using the streaming software, and you can do a lot of cool things with it. Like you can, here, let me give you an example of what I mean, because this is kind of a cool thing that I can do during lessons too. So. iPad. So I can change the scene. Like for example, the picture you're seeing, I can now do this. So I can actually put the piece of music that I'm playing or when I'm teaching that the student is working on right on the screen. And you know what else is cool? Let's see if I have it here. Well, maybe I don't have it here. Oh yeah, no, I do. So I'll show you something really cool. So stylus. Okay, so let's say we're looking at the beginning of the Brahms piece that I was just playing. Okay, so what you see on the screen, like the beginning of it. So what I can actually do is I can draw on the screen like that. So I just circled the section of the music that I played. So this comes in really handy for teaching, right? Because we can, work out like fingering, right? So you use your pinky there, use your ring finger there, third finger there. So this kind of technology is really I mean, it's come a long way since, even a few years ago. So this makes for a really cool lesson, like a piano lesson experience. So because I think I have access to these kinds of tools now, I'm doing more teaching now. Jill says, do you have any piano pet peeves? Oh yeah, a ton. Yeah. You mean in other people's playing? Yeah. In pianos themselves, absolutely. Actually, one pet peeve of mine is when people move their bodies too much while playing. Like when it comes to playing piano, like you definitely have to be an athlete really to play an instrument. Like that's just like okay, so like I'm not saying like I'm anything like remarkable here, but like it does take a lot of physical stamina. And so like you do have to move your body sometimes to generate a lot of power, like if you're playing like a big Rachmaninoff ending, like if you're playing really big music like that, yeah, you have to move your body. But people who move their body too much, that kind of bugs me. Quite honestly, the best teacher. Well, thank you, M. That's very kind. Yeah, so there's someone in chat here that is one of my students, and she has dedicated herself recently to the study of music theory and made this remarkable, like I'm talking about huge improvements, like massive improvements in like creative output and skill. Like she's writing symphonies now, and it's unbelievable the stuff that she's turning out. And I mean that's not my specialty, so this is all her. And so shout out to Miss M's. Do you always feel inspired to play, or does it ebb and flow? Yeah, ebbs and flows, for sure. But I definitely miss it when I don't play. Do you teach beginners who can't read notes? Sure, yeah. Like reading music is very handy. But I find a lot of the beginners that I work with, like even recently, we don't really start with learning how to read notes. We start by learning like chords and just getting them playing as soon as possible, and then the reading comes later. It's a handy tool. Yeah, it is absolutely fantastic, this tool. Yeah. Favorite instrument to listen to other than piano? A cello. Sure, we're teaching, yeah. Your cat's just tuned in for that. Awesome. I had theory. Okay. All right, let's play one more piece. And we'll finish with actually another piece by Brahms. And I'm going to need the music for this one, but this is another intermezzo. And then after that, anyone who wants to stick around, they can stick around, we can chat. I'm actually going to be practicing and making notes on my own copy of the score. So that's sort of the more technical part of the stream. So if you want to stick around for that, you can. But for now, we'll just listen to Brahms Intermezzo, Opus 118, number 2. Oh, just I'll answer Bayside by Sam's question here. They say, I've always struggled with quickly reading the bass clef. Any tips other than the all the cows eat grass? Yeah. I mean, that's the way I learned it, but I think I also learned it with flashcards. But you know what a lot of people are having success with? And I don't know if you're comfortable with this, but there are apps out there now that act like a flashcard system, but they're also gamified. So you can like challenge your high score, and they kind of make it, as fun as learning to read notes can be. So yeah, there are some, like for example, the complete music reading trainer. That's a good app, available on both iOS and Android. And there's some other ones too. So a lot of people are having like learning how to read music rapidly using apps like that. Okay, so a little background on this piece. I think this piece is really a conversation between a man and a woman who I think loved each other, but they never connected because they married different people. And I think Brahms is really writing about someone that he had known earlier in his life. So maybe you'll hear some discourse between what may be considered the male voice and the female voice here. My new favorite dinner show. Logan Mills says, I would love to see you teach a live lesson sometime. That's an interesting idea. There's a way to actually stream Zoom piano lessons that I'm doing live. I just have to find a student that would be willing to be streamed live. So, not everyone's comfortable with that. Maybe Em will volunteer. Yeah. Yeah. Angela. Hi, Angela. Em says patient, but I also adaptive. I think bounce between playing, composing. Yeah. No, you're not. Exactly, Beth. No one's stupid. They just need to find their way to learn. Good point. Simon also volunteers as tribute. Oh. Well, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, so I'm going to actually head into a practice session right now. And so feel free to stick around and, watch how I actually, personally practice. Anyone that sticks around can ask questions about teaching or technical stuff. Happy to answer. But yeah, I think we're going to be working out specifically. I'm going to be designing some pedaling for actually the piece I just played. I kind of faked the pedaling. It needs some better pedaling, so I'm going to work that out today. No, I won't mind you. That's fine. So yeah, the sun has come out here too. So it came out at M's place, and now it's here. All right. I will pay to watch you teach Simon piano. Oh, I know who this is now. Hi, Logan. Yes. You'll also pay. All right. Hey, yeah. Okay, so if I teach Simon piano live on Zoom, I'll set up like a donate link, right? All right. So we're moving to score here. Yes. Yeah, so with a piece like this, it can easily get pedal heavy. So we want to design some pedal that's not, that gives you that feeling of sustain, but doesn't flood or doesn't blur together too much. Hashtag teach Simon, yes. All right, maybe what we'll do is, let's start in this section here. Okay, so I'm going to be designing some pedaling from this point. So in the bass clef here, we have these rests. Okay, now some performers, they keep the pedal down during those rests. And that that creates a very sort of very airy, sustained, blurry kind of sound, which is maybe not a bad thing. It's just the effect they want to create. So I'll give you an example of what it feels like to hold the pedal through those notes. It's very airy. However, Brahms did put rests there, so an argument could be made that our pedal should actually come up at this point, right? Right, so like, coming into here, change, and then up at the rest, right, and then down and up at the rest. So I'll play that, and we can kind of compare the sounds. Okay, so again, so I'll play it holding the pedal all the way through. And now I'm going to lift at the rest. You tell me what you like better. Right, so there's a definite gap there. So, actually, I think personally, I think I like holding the pedal down there, but. Simon doesn't have a YouTube account. Yeah. Is Brahms the same guy who wrote the lullaby? Yes, he is. See, another argument for lifting the pedal there is we have a staccato on this note. And if you have a staccato on that note, I mean, it shouldn't really be clipped, but it's... I don't think it should be held either. I think I like that. That's pretty thin. All right, so I think the answer is actually not lifting the pedal completely at this point here, but doing what we call a half pedal. So that's where the pedal is going to come. You're not going to do a complete clear, you're just going to do sort of half a clear. So it takes a little bit of the sound away, but not all of the sound. Yep, that's the answer. Are music sheets open to interpretation? I thought there were strict rules on how to play them. Excellent question. It depends on the composer. Some composers explicitly put instructions in their music, whether that's dynamic markings or some words to describe how to play it. But a lot depends on the publisher of the music too. So depending on who publishes the score, like publishing houses have editors, and those editors actually put in a lot of these marks that you see on the page here. Like for example, like this large, like this curved line here. That could be something that the editor put in and not the composer. I mean, I don't have Brahms' original here, but I mean, he might have put that in, but, or like these little dots, these little staccatos here on the bottom. That could be put in by an editor in some editions. So that's the editor's interpretation on how something should be played. However, to fully answer your question, a lot of performers will sometimes ignore not just editors' marks, but composers' marks too. And they'll just put their own interpretation in. So, this allows for variety, and this is why you can go onto YouTube and you can listen to this piece, and it will sound like it'll sound different every time. Same notes, but it like the feeling of the piece will be different depending on the performer. Yeah, so continuing in this pedal idea here. I think the answer is stay very connected in this area. Very connected, very legato. So that if I do take the pedal off at this point, this F natural here is still going to feel very legato. I think that's the play for this. And then this is going to sound very legato as well. Yeah, I like that. Then I think these should be pedaled individually. Sounds a bit empty down here when I left, but I think that's respecting the rests. let's check chat. Do you compose? Yeah, not much, but I do. How do you feel about new age music? Well, I was listening to this one guy last night. I forget his name. Melta. Anyway, he plays the handpan. I don't know if anyone has heard the handpan before. It's like this metal round semi-spherical thing, and you kind of tap it. And anyway, this guy uses it in this new age vibe stuff. I fell asleep to it. Very relaxing. Okay, the craziest part of this is that it actually sounds different when it's legato connected, right, or not? Absolutely. Yeah, it sounds different. Like these, like this part here, where I've written in the legato there, like if I don't connect those notes, I and I lift the pedal where you can see these red marks are, it's going to sound very clipped, right? Because if my pedal comes up at this point here, and I don't hang on to that note, we have a problem. Because now we've lost connection, we have empty space, and I really don't think there should be empty space in this piece, or in this section of the piece. I'm out. Yeah, he's awesome. Rude. Actually, it's not rude, Ollie. He actually, like in the title of his videos, it says, music to, for like meditation / relaxing / sleeping. So he actually is designing it to make you fall asleep. So Logan, I know a guy who makes handpans and PI. It's such a cool. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I think I seen it a couple of years ago, and I'm like, eh. But then I watched this guy for like 15 minutes, and I'm like, it is amazing what you can do with that. Yeah. I didn't really believe you until I heard it both ways, connected versus not. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that section. So like, I'm going to play that right hand legato, and I'm going to lift the pedal, and it'll still sound connected even though I lift the pedal. So okay, so I lifted the pedal, but you're still hearing that note, right? Which is what I want. Okay, so the bass is gone because I've lifted the pedal of the rest. That these low bass notes are gone, but the music is still connected. I'll do that again. Okay, so bass is gone. Pedals come up, bass is cleared, the rest is respected. But the right hand is carrying sound through because I'm holding all the notes. Right? I'm connecting them. And then again here, I lose the bass, but you're still hearing some right hand stuff. Losing the bass, still connected. It's these kinds of details that, I mean, this is what like pros do. Like everything, every single note is planned to perfection. They literally know exactly how they're going to play every single note. Like not just like how to physically approach it, but how to pedal it. And yeah, it's unbelievable preparation. Well, anyway, I think we're gonna wrap up there, folks. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm going to, for now, try to do this on Thursday evenings. So, stream for an hour, hour and a half or something like that. And, if you're interested in particular pieces of music, shoot me a message. Let me know, and I'll prepare them. In fact, what I'll probably do is make a request list that I'll make available in chat. And then if you want to hear one of the pieces, you can request it, and I will play that. So I'll try to get something like that together for next week. Thursday is meeting nights, eh? Oh. Well, it may not only be Thursday, but we'll see. If there's continued interest in this kind of stream, or in more lesson-focused streams, then, maybe we'll do sort of one night, we'll do sort of a performance thing, and then another night we'll do more of a lesson stream, eh? Thanks for stopping by, Rachel. Jill, M, thank you so much. Haley, thanks for commenting. Nice to know that you guys are here. So, love you all, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.